This question is in the mind of many candidates, that whether coding is important in low-level design interviews or it is a completely theoretical discussion like we have the system design rounds or high-level design rounds. So, I remember like when we were sitting for placement in our college, campus placements. So I was sitting in the direct eye placement presentation, and the person from direct eye, their representatives were presenting, and all of us students were sitting in the auditorium. So someone got up and asked this question to that person: "Sir, is coding important for getting into a software engineer role at direct eye?" So many from the auditorium laughed at him, and the guy who was presenting also smiled, and then he said in a polite manner, but he said the same thing, that see, at the end of the day we are paying you to write code, and if you are not comfortable in writing code, or if you are not interested in writing code, then there are a number of roles inside direct eye or outside that you can get. But if you want to earn money or get into software engineer role at direct eye or any other top tech company, then you have to code and you have to be interested in it, else this is not the correct role for you. That was more than 10 years back, but it is still holds true even today. And even though direct eye were taking DS algo rounds only, they were not taking LLD rounds, but this statement is true even for low level design rounds. Now I will get into the technical details of it, why it is important in LLD interviews. But the short answer is yes, coding is really important for LLD interviews. And the cold hard truth is that basically in any interview, even LLD interview, you are competing against other candidates. Let's suppose 10 candidates are there. Some people explain the DS algo part, not the DS algo part, mostly the design patterns and data structure part much better than you, because they have come prepared and they have implemented the core features for the LLD question. Then they will be selected. You will not be selected. It's a simple 0 and 1. So coding is important, and I will strongly suggest and recommend you to implement the basic uh, core features of low level design questions to get an idea. Let's get into the technical details. On a high level, basically low level design is mostly about arranging code. So any interviewer is looking for how you are going to break the problem in different classes, and it can be in either of the formats, whether the 75 to 90 minutes machine coding round or the 45 to 60 minutes face-to-face round. These three steps are the same. First of all, any interviewer will expect you to break the problem in multiple classes. Then the discussion will move on to the core features, and then they will want to check whether how can you solve this problem using the different design patterns and what data structures that you are going to use. So let's see a few examples of the core features and the design patterns used, so that things become clear for us. Let's see a few examples on what are the core features and how the discussion moves on to different design patterns and all. So for example, this question, design a parking lot. I have already opened it. So if in an interview, interviewer asks you to design a parking lot, so what can be its core features? The core feature will be park method. That is a you have to park a method based on different parking strategy. The other core feature will be remove vehicle method, that is unpark the vehicle. There can be search vehicle. Now you see in the park method, there is a parking strategy which decides what will be the algorithm used for assigning a spot to the vehicle. Here there are two parking strategies. So as the name suggests, you will use strategy design pattern here. Let's take another example. For example, the interviewer asked you to design a chess game. So we know in chess there are many pieces. There can be 8 pawns in white, 8 pawns in black. Then there are king, queen, rook, bishop, other pieces. So what will you use here? We will use a chess piece factory, that is factory design pattern, to create new objects for all these pieces. What will be the core feature in a chess game? So the core feature will be this move method, that given a starting position, that is start row and start column, is there a piece and can that piece reach at the end row, end column? If there is a piece at the destination, can that piece be killed? Okay, so this is the core feature. Now we know in chess there are different moves. There are straight moves, diagonal moves, 2+1 moves by the knight. So we can use, apart from the factory design pattern, we can use here strategy design pattern to implement the moves themselves. Let's take one last example. So let's suppose you are asked to design a low level design of a food delivery system, something like Zomato, Swiggy, DoorDash, Food Panda, Uber Eats, whatever. So what will be the core features? You have to add a food item, add a restaurant. Most importantly, you have to be able to order food from a restaurant and rate an order. Now, once user rates an order, what will be their benefits? In the UI, you can see you can fetch top restaurants by food item, or you can fetch a generic list of top rated restaurants in your area. So the class which is returning this result get top restaurants by food, and the class which is returning this result get top rated restaurants need to notified about the rating of each order, so that they can update their list every time based on the rating given to orders, as well as the ratings will also affect the overall rating of restaurants. So here we will be using observer design pattern. So you see how you can very easily identify the core features, and then the discussion will move on to different design patterns. Now you can discuss these core features and all the design patterns and data structures confidently only if you have actually implemented the core features and tested them, run tests on them. If you have not implemented, then you will not be confident. And you know, the first job of an interviewer is to figure out whether the person he or she is interviewing do they actually understand the solution that they are giving, or have they just memorized a random solution from internet and they are just putting it in front of them. So what any interviewer will do is, as you give the solution, they will slightly tweak the problem statement. Okay, they may add a new strategy pattern, sorry, add a new strategy, or they may slightly, or may they say, okay, now the environment is multi-threaded, or change the problem statement slightly, and how they just will want to see how do you think on your feet. And now if you have not actually implemented the basic core features or similar features earlier beforehand, then you will not be confident, because you do not know now whether the thing that you are saying is correct or not. And most interviewers ask, are you sure this is correct? You may be correct or wrong, but they will check your confidence whether do you actually understand the thing or not. So implementing core features is important. And apart from this video, I have also created another short video on different type of formats of the low level design interviews. I will put the link in the description, go watch that. And I wish you the best of luck for interviews. Thanks a lot. Bye.